Hello guys. Today we are gonna do the second tournament here. Figure out who's gonna challenge the winner of the last tournament for the title. First things first, just gotta adjust, make sure everything's good here. Because of that white. Okay. All right. All right, I think that's close enough. All right. Gonna share the link and we'll get started. Thanks, DPS. No problem on FDOA stuff. That will definitely be doable for tomorrow. For sure. If you get a chance, let me know who you want as a rep for King's Ransom. You actually got 2 spots since you're commissioner. We got an extra slot, so you can decide that what you want with that extra slot. But you have 2 you could put in for it. So let me know whenever you get a chance. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's see who we're going to have as the rest of the reps here. So last night, Scott Norton won the first tournament. He beat out the other 7 that he beat out were Billy Gunn, Zack Sabre Jr., Randy Orton, Terry Funk, Rick Flair, and Roddy Piper. So We have an interesting one here. So let's see who we're gonna put here. First up is for this one is the British Bulldog. '81. So we're gonna see who's the closest in that. Let's try Mr. Kennedy. He's an 88, so not him. Edge. He's an 89, so not him. Triple H, I know Triple H won't be. Spike, maybe. '83. Oh, we're 83. So I know the other two we just passed. Kane was the other one too in the last tournament as well. CM. So let's see, Kaz. '85. So CM probably not. So technically, he might be the lowest rated one in this tournament. So I guess we're going to have to go with the closest to that, which I think is Spike. It's 83. Yeah, there's no one lower than Spike, so we're just going to have to do that. Spike. After that, of course, Mr. Kennedy. He's an 88, so let's see if we can find someone close to an 88. Was Edge close? Edge was an 89, so almost. Let's see. Triple H. '91, so not quite. Let's see. Ray was an 84 or whatever, so not him. Kaz, maybe. '85, not quite. CM, maybe. He's an 89, so what was Mr. Kennedy's again? 88, so we'll just pair those two up then. Let's see. Edge. He's an 89, so it's kind of a lopsided thing there. Triple H will be his opponent, I believe. We'll have to see who's left. '91, so he's 89. Let's see. Okay, Ray is not close, even close. Kaz is 85, so no. And so it's going to have to be who's the closest? 89. So it's going to have to be Triple H then. And then last one, the last guys will be Kaz and Rey Mysterio. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to finalize these. Everything's the rules and settings is exactly the same as the last tournament. Yeah. So, hey, Gray Man. So here's how. So the other 8 competed at the last stream yesterday. The other 8 included Billy Gunn, Zack Sabre Jr., Randy Orton, Scott Norton, Terry Funk, Ric Flair. Let's see, Roddy Piper, Kane, and Kane. Those 8. Okay. And the winner of that tournament's going to face the winner of this tournament in a best of series. I'm not sure how many matches it's going to be. It's going to be its own stream. I'm probably either going to do 5 or 7. I'm kind of leaning towards 7 because even if it's a sweep, that's 4 matches, which I think is a good length for a stream. I'll make sure there's good length for something like that. So yeah. Last tournament too, Cesaro and The Rock interfered in matches, so we'll have to see how things follow up with all that later on. But yeah, we're gonna get this tournament started. Fatigue is on, and the matches the stipulations are random for each match, so we're gonna have some interesting things here to see. Last man standing right here. Yeah, because the original plan was to do a 16-man tournament all in one night. But I kind of forgot that I thought there was a chance, but I didn't realize that the tournament mode in this game is limited to 8. I think in the other 2Ks after this one, like 2K22 and 23, and I assume 24, you could do more than 8. I think you could do 16, but I could be wrong.
Making his way to the ring from Manchester, England, weighing in at 256 pounds, the British Bulldog.
Yeah. Ironically enough, out of the tributes out of everyone in the 16 people poop. British Bulldog has the lowest. He's an 81. It's definitely a colorful cast of wrestlers because we definitely have some wrestlers you would obviously expect to be in something like this, like Ric Flair, Triple H, or whatnot. But you got some guys that kind of snuck in a little bit, like Billy Gunn and and um and Spike Dudley and Kaz and some of those guys. Scott. Well, and here's the thing: like there are some guys like Kaz or even Scott Norton you can argue are legends in their own right. Because Scott Norton had a pretty big run in Japan. He was pretty well known there, so you could definitely argue a lot. I mean, Spike might be a stretch a little bit, but that's the thing about doing those games the way we did them was that it was supposed to kind of see who stood apart from everybody. Ooh. 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 Oh, it gets back up. Ow. Ooh. What does Bulldog have in mind here? Going for the chin lock. Ooh. Oh, suplex. Oh, electric chair drop. Oh, power bomb. Spike not getting a lot of offense in here. Oh. Oh, he just drops him. Oh, whips him out of the ring. Oh, some taunting. Ooh. Looks like that tiny man in AEW. Which one? I will say this: AEW has a lot of kind of wrestlers who are kind of on the less weight side. In all honesty, with all the belts and divisions they added, why not add a cruiserweight division? Like they add like Atlantic and the international title and the FTW title and all that. Why not just scrap some of that? Just have a cruiserweight division. You obviously have guys like Hook and Danhausen and so many guys who are like super that aren't big guys. Why not just do a cruiserweight division? It's so stuff like that to me is like. But then again, based on their roster, if they did a cruiserweight division, that'd be like over half their whole roster would be in that if they went that route. So I don't know. I didn't do it the last stream, but I didn't talk about Money in the Bank in the last stream, surprisingly enough. I did make a post in Discord about my thoughts, but yeah, it was an interesting event. Like that show had quite a few botches in it. Like not all from the wrestlers either, but I have been noticing is he another. Oh, right. Oh, on the apron. Jeez. Oh, my God. That has to do it. Oh, he's not done. Oh, finally Spike trying to fight back. Yeah. It's funny how some rings look smaller than others. Like, I swear, that AEW ring in the AEW game, I will say this, it feels small to me. Like, Fire Pro ring feels quite large, in all honesty. This ring here, I mean, it might be the angle and the distance. I guess it is kind of on the small side. I mean, I am using an arena that's unlocked in the story mode, so there might be some liberties taken. But yeah, Money in Bank, like the men's Money in the Bank. 3 Davey Boys across, yeah, that's probably about right, yeah. And yeah, something like that, I think. But yeah, Money in the Bank was a weird show. Like the men's Money in the Bank match was okay. There was definitely some good moments. ECW's tiny ring. You know what? I never noticed how tiny ECW's ring was. Oh, Spike finally getting something going. Oh my God. Was that the acid drop? Interesting. Yeah. What an upset, right? Because Spike technically is a little bit higher in the tribute side of things. Oh, running power slam. But yeah, it was okay. Drew winning, it's kind of a weird thing because I get why they won it, and I'll talk more about that when we get to that match. But I'll say this: I think their mid card guys are okay right now, but they're gonna have to give guys like LA Knight or Jey Uso something to prove themselves with at some point, like a title or something. Because I think their momentum and their believability as competitors is going to wane pretty soon if they don't start winning matches that count. Because they've lost quite a few matches that would lead to an award for them. Like they need accolades, especially like Jay if he's going to be a single star. LA Knight's kind of, I know he's 40, but it'd be nice for him to get something with all the talk he does. That's the thing too. Yeah, that's the thing too. I believe that as well because I think I think they have long-term plans in place for both world title guys and they don't want that money in the bank thing. And yeah, you are kind of right. Like the main event seems kind of fine enough right now. They don't really want any new they don't aren't ready for new guys yet. And yeah, LA Knight and Jay, I mean, they're kind of close to it, but they're not there yet. So I get it. I don't have a problem with it. All tornado DDT. Wow. Yeah, but that's the thing though. The angles have to be good. You know, you have to get them like Macho Man DDP rivalry level kind of good. That's the trick. Or better yet, you could do very. I mean, we've seen it already with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Like you can do great rivalry story stuff without titles involved. You can certainly do that, but they haven't, and that's the thing. And until they do that equivalent with Jay and LA Knight to a degree, really the best thing on the sideline or close to it would be some accolades. And they're not doing either with them yet. And they really should soon. Because right now, those guys really deserve more than what's going on with them right now. And this is kind of the caveat to having almost all your titles be tied up in long-term reigns is because it really doesn't give your other guys a lot to do other than lose to the champions. You know, I mean, you would have to get really creative to get them in something compelling without a title involved. Like you really do, and that's kind of the thing about all that. But anyway, that Braun Breaker Sami Zayn the match, I was a little surprised they had Sami Zayn retain until I realized that they're in his hometown Toronto and they're not going to have to lose in Toronto twice. So yeah, and Braun Breaker's new on the roster, so it makes sense. Oh, British Bulldog gets the win. But I'm kind of thinking that I'm kind of surprised they didn't though. But and look, I get they want like solid long-term reigns, but man, it makes it tough to like. But it makes things a little bit more predictable though. Like when reigns get to that certain length, you start to kind of get the idea of how things are gonna go. And then it kind of makes title matches they do have don't mean as much because you can kind of be like, okay, they're obviously not going to lose it here because of this. Yeah, I think it might be a long-term rivalry thing, which is fine. Yeah, I'm okay with him not winning it, but if it felt like he might. That's the thing. But I don't mind it. I thought it was a fine match. but I am kind of hoping that they give them some good stuff. But yeah, I think it'll be a solid rivalry there. The match after that, what was the match after that? Oh yeah, the world title match. Oof, that was an interesting one there. Next one we got Mr. Kennedy and CM Punk. Winner will face Bulldog in the next round. That's gonna be a false count anywhere match there. But yeah, like it wasn't necessarily a bad match, but man, that messed up ref count. Ooh, man, that was really bad. That was one of the worst botches I've seen so far since I started really watching the pay-per-view events of WWE back in the Roman Reigns getting hit by a chair by Sami Zayn Royal Rumble. Like, that was not good. And I don't know if it was the ref's fault or if Damian Priest kind of took a lot on that Falcon Arrow, or if Drew McIntyre's music was late. It could have been any one of those. But I don't know. That was not good. I mean, however, after that, when Drew McIntyre came to cash in and try to get the title and CM Punk and all that, that stuff was still good. He had to kick out. Okay, he just messed up. Yeah, it's a little worrisome for that to happen, because it definitely makes it doesn't look good. And to be honest, this isn't like I said, like I have noticed over the last few pay-per-views some botchy stuff is starting to happen, and I almost feel like their roster is starting to get tuckered out. I think their roster is starting to get kind of tired and sore and stuff, because I know they've been doing a lot of stuff. And the thing with these events and shows, that roster is getting worked hard. Like, you're not seeing a lot of other guys like have squash matches with random jobbers and stuff. It's pretty much the same roster duking it out for a pretty consistent amount of time. No, and look, I don't think it'll mess with Priest that much, because there's been a lot of botches from a lot of great wrestlers over the years. So it's not something that I think that we should really get on Priest for. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, like I'm kind of. And here's the thing, too. Guys in the Attitude Era, they weren't doing super crazy stuff in the ring. I mean, you could almost argue that wrestlers in the new generation era probably did more wrestling action stuff than the Attitude Era guys. But in this era... Oh, man.
From Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 218.
I knew I forgot something. I forgot to do CM Punk's entrance in this game. I forgot to customize it. That's something I have to fix for the universe mode when we run with these 16 guys. Yeah, it was the hardcore era. But yeah, I think we should give Priest a break, in all honesty, on that one. But yeah, and it's not just Priest though. There's been a lot of botchy stuff with a lot of wrestlers. I think, to be honest, I think they're almost pretty close. Yeah, I mean, not a ton of matches, and if they did do matches, it wasn't like anything super long. Like, they didn't do long matches. Yeah, I will say this. Also on that world championship match, I like what the Rollins thing with Punk. It definitely added another element there. But yeah, definitely interesting. I know people, like I said, I read some people aren't happy that the Money in the Bank isn't going to be a factor this year. But you got to keep in mind that, like last year, the Money in the Bank was a thing for almost a full year. And to be honest, like you said, and I agree, there's technically not really anyone in the men's mid-card that's ready for main event stardom yet. Yeah, I will say this. Despite the botches, I do think that the women's ladder match is probably the best match of the night because I felt like almost anyone in that match could win that. I felt like a lot of those ladies were any of those ladies were ready for it. And I don't know, it felt like there was a certain like energy and pace to it that felt like legit. Yeah, a lot of risky stuff. Some of it paid off, some of it kind of did, but yeah, kind of dicey stuff. I think Tippy winning it was the right choice. However, I will say I was kind of jumping my seat a little bit with the idea of Chelsea Green winning it because it felt like she almost had it for a bit. But Tippy was the good choice. She's definitely ready for that. Oh yeah, definitely. Um, how I will say this, that main event, it did not that shouldn't have been the main event. The woman's Money in the Bank should have been the main event in my opinion. I think that six-man tag match should have been semi-main event in all honesty because I feel like that match just didn't feel like a main event match to me. Yeah, a year or two it will be solid. But yeah, and yeah, that one had some. That main event also had a couple botches, like the fucking botched low blow on Kevin Owens. I mean, I didn't catch that when I first watched it, but when I saw the replay of it online, I'm like, oh yeah, he did kind of fumble that low blow a little bit. I mean, that's not as bad. I'm not gonna get on him about that low blow thing. I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to botch stuff, but there's the Pepsi twist. Oh wow. Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing is people getting hurt. But yeah, overall, it's definitely an interesting event. I don't think any of the matches on the show were inherently bad, but I don't know. I feel like in this new era with Triple H and all that, with all those belts been looking to be done as long reigns, I think it does make something like Money in the Bank feel like an afterthought or a nuisance for that kind of stuff, especially when you don't have guys who are ready yet to be main eventers. But even at the same time, though, a Kenton bomb. Yeah, they are kind of similar there. Ooh, the mic drop. Yeah, but here's the thing. I think it makes sense, and I said this before. I fully agree that King of the Ring should lead to title shots because King of the Ring should mean something other than a title, like a namesake. It should lead to like stuff because if you think about it, if you're King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring, I mean, you should be in line for a title. You just proved that you're King of the Ring. You should have gold around your waist. So it makes sense. I. But with that in mind, I do agree. Having Money in the Bank in that slot is a little weird. To be honest, I think in the future they should like maybe put Money in the Bank after SummerSlam. Maybe make it a September event, make it a little closer to WrestleMania so you can kind of have a bit more of a faster paced hype build. Yeah, it was a good way to build the mid card guys for sure. Um, ooh, but yeah, I think to be honest, I think if I can name any match that's worst on the card, it's a good one. in all honesty, maybe the main event. And the main event wasn't a bad match. It's just, why is it a main event outside of whose names are involved? It didn't feel like a good main event for a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Yeah, exactly. It took a minute for him to get there. And that's fine. Yeah, exactly. Like, you would think that with that, it's like men's opens, woman main events. Makes sense. And if you're going to have something else main event, a pay-per-view like that, it should be a title match. Another mic drop on the outside. He's going to go for a cover. Oh, wow. Mr. Kennedy advances. Well, the idea was, and I know it was in the build, it was the bloodline against, the RKO bros of Orton and Owens, who've been rivaling them forever, and Road 2's rivaled with them as well. It was part of the story thing, but no, I don't think it needed to be the main event. I think it was a little weird to have that as the main event, in all honesty. All right, Mr. Kennedy and Bulldog in the next round. Next up is Edge versus Triple H in a tables match. Yeah, they are right now. They're buddy buddies. Yes, exactly. And another thing that I'm not happy about, those tag titles, I am not happy that they haven't been on pay-per-views. They debuted those months ago, and they have not once been on pay-per-view. I mean, they had a tag title change on a show. And look, I'm fine with the tag titles kind of being used more for the mid-card, lower-card guys. If they want to put them in that realm, that's fine. But tag team wrestling is kind of a big thing, and they really should capitalize more on that. Yeah, it was only 5 matches, and look, with events like Royal Rumbles, Money in the Banks, Elimination Chambers, I'm okay with them not having as many matches because the big matches take a lot more time. Apparently, that's fine since I'm on. You see, and this is kind of why I kind of like streaming on my laptop, because I don't have to worry about shit like that when that happens. Yeah, I have, and here's the thing, I have heard some people start to complain a little bit on the pay-per-view length a little bit. And yeah, I get you want to give guys time to do their matches, but I'm not going to lie, some of these events when I watch these matches, I kind of wish they were a little shorter. Some of them do feel a little long, I kind of would have preferred some matches being maybe a tiny bit shorter and leaving some room for some other stuff. But yeah, shortened match number. Yeah, definitely. Like the match but I will say this. I mean, they haven't really had a pay-per-view since they kind of adapted this kind of format. So you can't really complain much about that. But yeah, I would like to see more tag team stuff because even though it can look deceiving, they actually have very reasonably strong tag divisions on both shows. And they got a lot of talented guys on those, and they really should showcase them a bit more, in all honesty. Especially you give them brand spanking new belts and everything. Do the car wreck and get out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, too. Like, it makes sense Drew winning it. It does. I get what they're doing. It makes sense. It's just, I just really, those guys, they just really need those guys something. Because if you take out the fact that Priest, because here's the thing, if Priest loses to Gunther at SummerSlam, which he probably will, like, Gunther's going to have that title for eons. And Cody Rhodes, who knows when he's going to lose that one. So those two are locked up. The mid-card titles, Like Logan Paul and Sami Zayn, I mean, they will lose those belts at some point, but I don't know when. I get why they have that on Logan Paul because of the advertising and all that. I think it's okay. I think him losing it at this point will be okay. I think they just need the proper rival for him. Right now, they've been doing with LA Knight, which I think will work, and I think LA Knight will be the guy to beat him. Possibly, I don't know. I mean, he could lose at SummerSlam against LA Knight. I will say this: it does look like they've been legitimately building SummerSlam as kind of the midpoint WrestleMania. It's possible. I wouldn't mind that winning it. Oh no, Gutbuster. I do think and it's even more relevant when they announce that in a year to 2 years they're going to make SummerSlam a 2-night event like WrestleMania, which makes perfect sense. I'm perfectly fine with that. Or of course, you spend the next few matches to build up in England. Hopefully not. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think. What was I saying? But yeah, Sami Zayn, I don't know when he's going to lose that belt, but he'll probably have a rivalry with Braun Breaker, and they'll probably beat him for it. That's my guess, but he's probably going to hold on to that for a bit. So if you got all those tied up there, what's the rest of the roster going to do? You know what I mean? If you take out like the champs who they're feuding with right now and the tag teams, with the roster that's left, what are they gonna do if they're not even gonna sniff winning that title? Because if they're that's the problem with long-term reigns. Like I said, it makes it easier to predict someone not winning that title. And we saw it with the bloodline. I mean, at least this way, at least more guys are champ, and it's not all in one stable. I prefer this, but I think it makes it harder to see what guys can do with something when there's nothing. Jay and Braun could be a good one. Maybe Carmelo Anthony. Is it Carmelo Anthony? Carmelo. Feuding with Braun, because they did feud in NXT over the NXT title, so that could be a fun little revisit there. But Carmelo Hayes, not Anthony, just came up with it. Yeah, I said Anthony and not Hayes. Yeah, I think it's Hayes too. Yeah, but me and DPS talked about in the chat too. Because I think there needs to be, if you're going to have all four of those titles be long-term reign titles, no matter what, like there's no flexibility there, that's what you're going to go with, then you got to give something that lower mid-card guys to do. If not tag teams, like give them like a TV title or something like that, something that can exchange hands often and be fine with. You know, something that'll say, okay, you have 30 to 60 days to do something with this title. Go. And then see what they do with it. And if they prove themselves, then you know that they can do good things with the belt, and then you can like plan a long-term thing over time. And plus, who knows? Maybe instead of having 2 great title feuds, you could have 3 title feuds. But because you don't have that title, you wouldn't know. I think that's what makes that Attitude Era kind of stuff, the amount of belts they had then, I think what made it work so well is because you had a lot of guys that could do good things with the belt, but you would never know if you didn't have the titles you had. Oh, Downward Spiral, Edge gets the win. He moves on. Like, we would never know that D'Lo Brown would be a great champion if the European title wasn't there. You know? We wouldn't know that Crash Holly would come up with that 24/7 rule with the hardcore title if there wasn't a hardcore title, you know? I mean, because those guys would never get the big belts in a million years. I mean, he might as well be. I mean, with the history that they're making known with him and Gunther and all that, they might as well like probably elevate him a little bit. All right, Kaz and Rey Mysterio up next. Winner will face Edge in the semis. And a steel cage. Yeah, I just think, and don't get me wrong, I love Triple H's thing right now. It's doing fantastic. My only real worry right now is what are you going to do with the mid card? You know, who's going to be working with who? What's going to be going on with these guys? Because if the most they're going to do with them is have them just be like practice dummies for the obvious main event guys, then you're not going to see long-term stuff from them because you're kind of wasting their growth here. The next real match. You know, I will say this. Punk looked pretty in shape in Money in the Bank. He looked like he put on a little bit of muscle since the last time we saw him.
Weighing in at 183 pounds, the Great.
So yeah, I think he'll be okay. But that Punk McIntyre thing's going great. And to be honest, I'm fine with them not having Money in the Bank around for a bit. I just want to start seeing them give that mid card something to do outside of just, like I said, just be guys to lose to the guys who aren't going to lose their titles anytime soon. Like, but you know, at the end of the day, the story stuff can make up for that if they put great stories together with them, and they typically do. But I just think at some point it becomes apparent at some point when a guy's going to win a title when he's not going to win a title. And I think they're kind of getting close to that point with some guys. You know, Jay and LA Knight kind of being those guys. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, in the next pay-per-view event, they could have those titles dropped to them. I don't know. And but like I said, I think it will benefit those mid-card guys, the lower to mid-card guys. And even the guys making booking, if they had something to kind of give like a little audition run of, hey, this is the type of stuff I bring to the table if I was a champion. You know, I just think that would be a good way to go about it. But I know they have the speed title on X, but they don't talk about it in other things. And you don't even see the belt in the shows or anything, which is kind of weird. I get that X wants their stuff kind of more in the X realm, but it's a WWE title. We should see it on TV. Yeah, the Live Judgment Day stuff's great. You see, and that kind of stuff, that and the McIntyre Punk stuff, that stuff is great. You don't need titles for that. If they can do that kind of stuff with the lower mid-card guys to kind of help build them up a bit, that'd be great if they go that route with it. But they're not really quite doing that. Ooh. That's Twitter. Yeah, which is a shame. It really is, because I think it's because here's the thing. That is a great place to see that mid-card work. Like, it gives them something to do. But because you make it like that, it doesn't feel like that on the main shows, which is a shame. And they really should. Like I said, they need that lower mid card needs something to do. And it's weird because on paper, it looks like they got plenty of titles. But once you kind of look at how things are planned out and how they think things through, it really doesn't feel like that. Yeah. I will say this, though. I'm happy to see JD McDonough get his first title win with the tag titles. I'm happy to see that. Yeah. Ooh. Kaz just took a big, steel cage strike to the back. Ooh, smooth. Yeah. Well, that's a cool thing, too, because JD McDonough and Braun Breaker feuded in NXT as well for a while. So you definitely had to, so I perfectly see Braun Breaker winning a mid-card title soon. Because you already got two of his biggest feuds already on the same level. So you got some good stuff there. It's just, but that's the thing about playing the long game, though, is that, I don't know. But I think the other thing too is that I think when you're writing and wrestling, I think it's very hard to come up with good stuff that don't involve a title. And I'm kind of hoping that, but you never know with Triple H's stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely hoping to see that lower mid card start chasing stuff. Because here's the other thing too. If you have lower mid card guys that definitely aren't gunning for belt or solo runs really anytime soon, put them in a tag team and add them to the tag division. You know, do that at least, and then have tag titles kind of bounce around a little bit. That's the way I feel about it. If you're gonna go that route, build up the tag division. Yeah. Well, I have to see. It Judgment Day is probably my favorite stable. To be honest, it has been my favorite stable ever since a Senton. Ever since really for a long time. I mean, the Bloodline stuff had its good points, but had a lot of bad points. Really, the Judgment Day, really their worst point was at the beginning. Once they questionably ditched Edge for Finn Balor, and went from there, they really have just gone up since. Well, when they started doing those tag title divisions again, they had enough. Not a lot, but enough for each show. Because I went through them and I counted the stuff. They had enough. Oh no. Kaz is blowing it here. He needs to get Ray. Ooh. Yeah, it really did. And you know what? And here's the thing. The Judgment Day aesthetics and style is really in right now. And I think that contributes a lot to the popularity right now in WWE is that style and aesthetics is and that's the thing with WWE right now. They're doing a lot of stuff that hits really well with the young crowd. And look, Rey Mysterio gets the win. He'll move on. He'll face Edge in the semis.
Here is your winner, Ray.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I just watch the top 10s for the shows. I don't really watch them. They're too long for me. Rhea came back. Oh boy. I can't wait to see that top 10 video. Oh man. You know what? I think I'm curious on how things are gonna go. All right, semifinals: Bulldog, Kennedy, and Edge and Ray. Yeah, if it's not up tonight, it'll probably be up like early tomorrow. But yeah, I'm curious to see how Rio responds to all of this, because the obvious one would be like she's pissed, but I don't know. I know she's mad at Liv, but so much happened and everything. I'm kind of curious on how everything's going to evolve now, because here's the thing. Yeah. And it's weird because here's the thing. Like, there's been so much has changed since she had to take her leave. Like, Carlito joined the group. He's there. Um, like, but three of the group are champs. You got the tag titles. You got the world title still. I mean, but there's a lot of different stuff, like the whole Liv fiasco 1-on-1 here. We're gonna have entrances off for the rest of the time here. Another table match. They got a PlayStation. Yeah, they do have a PlayStation. But Priest is trying to do his own thing, not letting people help him anymore. I mean, there's a lot has happened in that group, and it's going to be very weird to see what she does. But I will say that what I would find interesting. I'm just so curious because I almost wonder if her reaction isn't going to be what we expect. I'm very curious. I could see a Judgment Day Civil War in all honesty. Like, I could see Finn and JD going with Liv, and then you have Priest and Dom with Rhea. Oh, Mr. Kennedy going for an early one. Oh, no. Oh! What a miss. Yeah. Yeah. In this game, I think they don't do that, and I'm kind of happy they don't do it in this game, because if that stuff happens after setting stuff up, that really kills the magic there. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, counter. Oh, right on a piece of table. Oh, Kenton bomb. Looks like he's going to put it in the corner instead. Yeah, it's a big critical hit there. Oh, he's busted open again. British Bulldog gets slammed to the table. Oh, no, it's not looking good for him. Oh, Mr. Kennedy with a quick win. He'll move on to the finals.
Here is your winner.
All right, next match. Edge and Rey Mysterio. Winner will face Mr. Kennedy in the finals. Last man standing match. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Ooh. But yeah, I love all the story stuff going on right now. It's just it is a little worrisome for the guys not involved in title pictures and stuff, because if they're not going to be in a title picture, they need to be in something. And I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of a weird thing right now, because it's not like the WWE roster is like super large or anything. It really isn't, all things considering. It's just those shows, they really dedicate those shows to really a specific group of people. And I don't know. It might be something I'm overthinking after that Money in the Bank thing, but I just think that if you're gonna have all those guys there should be something that they can shoot for that is reasonably expected that they can get. And if there isn't anything like that, and if you're not gonna do any super big story stuff with them, then what are you gonna do with them? That's the way I see it, at least. But yeah. But despite that thing, I still love what WWE is right now. I would still watch WWE right now over AEW. That's for sure. Oh yeah, the Wyatt sit. Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be fun. Because I already could tell they got some guys look familiar, and I'm so happy to see some of them finally get some work. Oh, Rey Mysterio wins. Jeez. Yeah, I think Gable is definitely due for a mid card thing. That's for sure. For that kind of thing, a mid card title. But yeah, they won't feud with him forever. There definitely will be other guys in the mix. But here's the thing about the Bray Wyatt stuff, but now it's the Bo Dallas stuff now. Not early on, but over time, his stuff was definitely less about titles and more about the story stuff, which I think is fantastic for the lower mid card guys, because it does give them something to do. No, they I haven't really seen them in some of those videos or anything. But I will say this, like the thing with the Bray stuff is that the stuff is great, but that stuff started to focus less and less on the wrestling aspect. And I'm hoping now that they kind of had time to kind of go through his plans and stuff, and kind of adjust some things and stuff, that I'm hoping that they can do the Bray stuff with the wrestling mixed in. Because I think another reason why Bray didn't only wrestled once in his return at the Royal Rumble, I think he was nursing some injuries still. And I think they were trying to give him time to heal up for it. I think that's kind of a big reason there too, which is a shame, because the stuff he was doing was very good, but I think, unfortunately, they ended up stretching it out too long. I think they needed to put in a few more little isms in it, and I think seeing him wrestle a little bit more often, I think, would have helped. But a lot of that stuff was kind of out of their hands and control. I feel like, at least, but still, it sucks. It still sucks at the end of the day that he wasn't able to be able to be a part of all this stuff. But give them credit, though. Like, WWE is taking those ideas he had, and they are maximizing on it good. And I'm so happy that Bo Dallas is still getting that push right now, because they could have easily killed their plans. And I think it definitely would have hurt Bo Dallas too. So I'm happy to see that Bo Dallas is able to do the stuff that Bray had planned out, because I think it's gonna be good to see that come alive. Oh, the final match is, I think, just a standard match here. Mr. Kennedy and Rey Mysterio. Winner will face the Tournament 1 winner, which was Scott Norton. in a best of series, which I'm going to say is probably going to be best of 7. I'm going to probably go with that. Ooh. Oh, almost snuck in a DDT there without Ray wasn't paying attention. My heart will pull for Ray. Man, Ray will be a big underdog here. Even when he wins, he'll have to face Scott Norton. Scott Norton is he's not a lightweight like Ray is. He's going to be another big heavyweight he'll have to try to take on. But Mr. Kennedy here has been blowing through the competition here. Oh, dirty pin. Oh. I also want to say I do plan on having that best of 7 series tomorrow. I do know that DPS did say that he does plan on doing streaming stuff tomorrow, like booking his event. So if he is able to book it, I'll definitely stream that as well as the best of 7. Although I might if I have to prioritize one, I'll probably be DPS's stuff because the TWN pay-per-view, King's Ransom 2 is going to be happening Wednesday, so I do need reps from guys. So Gray Man, when you get a chance, I do need a rep from you for the tournament for the King's Ransom stuff. Ooh! Oh, Mr. Kennedy gets the win.
Here is your winner, Mr.
All right, Val, okay. Just one rep. DPS is the only one with 2 because he's commissioner, but he could give that one away if he wants to, but I don't know what his word on that was. Anyone who doesn't submit reps by Wednesday, I will use their title holders or one of their superstars, whatever's the best option there. Just because it's one of those things where it's kind of a requirement to have a rep. But yeah, once I do DPSs and once I do Star Fox's SCW stuff, we can open the door for promotional pay-per-views. Because I know some guys right now, I know I am at least, are kind of ready to do some. But yeah, Mr. Kennedy wins this. Him and Scott Norton will face each other in a best of 7 series to crown the first ever Multiversal champion, and they'll go into when we go into the universe mode, when we run that promotion as champion. Yeah, no rush. Like I said, TWN is on break. I'm just kind of doing what gets submitted for week 2 and then letting everything be open for promotion pay-per-views. And of course doing the TWN pay-per-views, the monthly ones as we go. But yeah, because And the thing is, I get it on the break. I do, because it is something that you need to like really have the like be in the mindset for. And when it comes to mindsets, it's as easy as to get it as it is to lose it. But yeah. Yeah, Mr. Kennedy and Scott Norton, that's gonna be a fun one. So in terms of streaming schedule, like I said, tomorrow, if DPS submits it during the day, I'll do his first, and then if there's time, I'll do the best of 7 series later that day. If the timing is a little different, I'll do the best of 7 first, and if DPS submits it later that day, and if I'm able to do it, I'll do it then. Wednesday will be the pay-per-view event. That'll happen that day. And then I don't know what's going to go on Thursday. I guess whatever pops up, I could do then, but hard to say. As well as after that, because once we finish this up, I'll probably take a bit to do the thing in universe mode in this game. I'm probably not going to do it right away because I got other stuff I gotta do. BWN stuff, because like Grayman, I know that you submitted your stuff, and I'm going to put a rough draft of that together in 2K23, and we'll see how it looks. And then I'll do mine, and then we'll put together rosters and belts and such, and we'll get that going. But anyone who watches it who's a part of TWN or whatever, if you are interested in doing a little bit of BWN stuff while TWN's on break, feel free to let me know. We do have 1 spot open for a brand. It's up to 3 brands. Anyone who wants to join after that will just have to take a roster slot as a wrestler and then try to fight the other guy who runs a promotion to run that promotion. Kind of like in whatchamacallit, when they did the brand split and you had commissioners, and sometimes they would have to fight to keep their spots and stuff. Or you could work together and do all that stuff together. You could work with them. It's kind of up to how you want to do stuff. But yeah, outside of all that though, I'm trying to think. I'm going to try. I keep saying this. I really got to try to work on recording stuff, because there's a lot I can record that I really haven't made time for, and I really should. Outside of all that, though, I think that's gonna about do it. I also want to say this: once some projects get cleared up, I would like to resume doing my Wrestler Empire like career thing again, because that was a lot of fun, and I can still keep doing it. I only stopped because we reached date and I wanted to shift focus, but I wouldn't mind going back to that at some point. But we'll have to see. But yeah, in terms of recorded projects, NBA Live is very possible. I gotta test through the games, but that will be good. Sports game reviews, it's close. I gotta test through the games. I also need to get a Game Boy Advance cable to connect to the TV, because I did get a couple Game Boy Advance games I want to review on that TV to make it easier. Because that Game Boy, even if I did it through the Game Boy Advance, that screen that I have right now is not in good shape. It's hardly seeable for sure. But it still works though. But yeah, we'll have to see how everything goes with all that. But yeah, outside of all that, though, that's going to do it for this specific stream here, guys. Thanks for watching. In case you guys wanted to chat with anyone at the Campy Company and you did not want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab on our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.